Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, MB Crafts, where we make wreaths, home decor, and more. I know I haven't been on in a while, and I apologize, but it is December 26th, so the day after Christmas, and so in less than a week, it'll be it'll be January 1st, or whatever I'm getting at, the new year. And for the new year, what I'm setting myself up to is to upload at least one video per week, because I want to get this channel going, and the only way I'm gonna get that done is if I start filming and getting videos uploaded. I've had some videos that I got uploaded that I never uploaded, so I might start uploading those quick if I can get them edited and whatever. But tonight we're gonna be making, or not, it's tonight for me, but I'm gonna be making this fishing, or I guess it's a lake house wreath. So it says, welcome to our lake house, and it says, go fishing, grill out, and make memories. I kind of got the go fishing, that's what I'm going to turn this theme into. So I kind of matched things off of, like, I'm going to be using some bobbers in this wreath, some sporadically. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it, but I got all different sizes. I got small, I got medium, I got teeny, so we don't know if I'll be able to even use those, but I got a couple of them over there just to help go out this thing. And then I'm gonna go off some of the ribbons. So I got this ribbon, which is the greens, so I like that. And then I got this, which is kind of just like up northy, cabin type feel, I guess, because I don't really have any fishing ribbon. And then I'm gonna bring in some of the red from this thing, just because that's gonna also help pop that red. And then it's also gonna make our bobbers pop when I add the bobbers in. So that's what I got for those three ribbons. And then for our mesh, I'm going to be doing a base of 21-inch white mesh. I'm going to be using this kind of a mossy, it's a moss green mesh, 10-inch, and then this natural burlap or natural poly jute 10-inch mesh. And I'm going to use that as more of a cabin-y, up northy type feel, because when I hear of like a lake house, I think of like I live in Wisconsin, so up north is kind of where all the lakes are, and people have like cabins on the lake. So I'm going to bring in some of the natural for that. So we're going to be using a 15-inch work form, which is right over here. A 15-inch work form, and it's got 18 ties on it, so it's going to make about anywhere from a 15 to a 22-inch wreath. But when I work with these, sometimes my wreaths turned out bigger than 22 inches. It all depends on how big of a poof you use and how much mesh, 10-inch mesh, and how big your ribbon tails are and all that kind of a thing. Helps make it whatever size. So it makes from a 15 to a 22, and I get these from all over the place. And it already comes with the tinsely ties on it, and they come in all different colors. So I'm going to pull this thing down, and we're going to get started. So welcome to my channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you're coming over from my Facebook page, make sure you subscribe. Now, on my YouTube channel, I do not give you, okay, well, that's a lie. So excuse the noise. I don't give you the full, I don't do the full tutorial on here. I kind of start off, and then with one step, I finish this, I leave, and then I come back when that step is over, and then I start the next step. So for instance, when I'm doing the poofs, I don't do all the poofs on the live here, because that just takes too long. And what I like to use my YouTube channel for is for the people that don't want to see a full hour-and-a-half tutorial. They kind of just want the gist of it. They kind of understand what I need to do, and you can kind of, what's nice about YouTube is I can cut it off, finish the project, and then come back on. When I do my Facebook, so if you're on my Facebook, or if you're not following my Facebook, I have a Facebook page where it's all MB Crafts stuff. So I go live there at least once a week. Sometimes it's twice or 3 times a week. Tonight I went live and I did a Easter wreath, which turned out amazing. And I taught them how to do some things. It's free Facebook group. I don't have a private group. I want to start a private group soon. But at the moment, I do not have a private group where you pay and I teach you real in-depth how to do things, just because of the fact that I am in school yet. I'm still in high school, so I don't have all the time in the world at the moment, but eventually I would love to have a private group where I can go in depth with you and teach you more. So go over there, it's called MB Crafts, and then make sure you hit that follow button. We're on a road to 8,000. We're almost to 7,000, and when we hit 8,000, over there we'll be doing a giveaway. And you can ask me questions over there when I'm on Facebook and stuff. On lives, it's like a live video. But if you are on here, I want you to subscribe to here, because once I hit a certain amount of subscribers, I don't know how many it is, I will be able to start doing a YouTube lives where I go live here on YouTube, and I can do just like what I do on Facebook, but you have to hit a certain amount of subscribers in order to be able to go live. So once we hit that, we can start going live over here as well. So I'm doing 12-inch poofs with this mesh, and I don't really count or measure it. I usually just go 1, 2, and I go to the third tie, so I count out 3 ties, and I go to that third tie, and that's pretty much around a 12-inch poof. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little bit bigger, but I don't go and count. That just takes too long, and it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. So this is just 21-inch white premium deco mesh, nothing fancy. You can go more in depth, but for my base, I usually don't go real expensive because it's just a base, and it's the start. I like to add more expensive 10-inch mesh if I am gonna add 10-inch mesh, because that way people are gonna be able to see the 10-inch mesh more than they're gonna see the 21-inch mesh. So I'm gonna go all the way up to this end over here. So once I get to this tie, I have 2 more ties left, and once I get to this tie, I'm gonna bring it down and do all the way around. And once I have all those poofs done, I will be back to show you guys what we're gonna do with our 10-inch mesh. Okay, so now that my poofs are all done on my wreath, your wreath kind of looks like that. Poof, you should have 18 poofs. I guess you can't see the cameras down, but you can, as you can see, you can still see through the wreath. That's because we have to add our 10-inch mesh or more on it. That's just a start. So what I do for these colors, there's many different ways you can do them, and on these videos I want to start teaching you different techniques and all that kind of thing. So this is a rotary cutter, and this is a cutting mat, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut different pieces. So we're going to cut 19-inch pieces, so 19 inches for this one, and we're going to be cutting 18 of each color. So what I'm going to be doing is 19 strips and 18 of each color. That's because we have 18 ties on our wreath, and we're going to be putting one of these 19-inch strips in each wreath. And so yeah, so I will be cutting all of this moss green at 19 inches, and we need 18 of them. And the one thing that's really nice about that is if you cut them at 19 and you cut 18 of them, you should run right out of ribbon. You should have just about enough, so you won't really have to worry about counting. And we're going to do the same exact stuff with our burlap ribbon, 19-inch strips, and you're going to need 18 of them, because we're going to put 1 burlap and 1 green in each tie. Excuse the hiccups. So it isn't real. This rotary cutter is really nice to be able to use because it's kind of just simple. Otherwise, you have to sit here with the scissors, and if you don't make wreaths all the time and you make a wreath here and there, and you don't want to go out and spend money on a rotary cutter or a mat, you can easily use the scissors. Just know that it's going to take a little bit longer for you to be able to do this, but it is perfectly capable. And yeah, so again, 19-inch cuts, and you're going to need 18 of each color. So 18 cuts at 19 inches of the burlap, and 18 19-inch cuts with the green. Okay, so 18 cuts, and the cuts are each at 19 inches. So I'll be back when I have them all cut. Okay guys, so I have all the mesh cut. I left 4 of each, so I can, or 2 of each, so 4 of them, so I can show you what you're gonna do. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, so I'll just take 3 to the side, and what you're gonna do is, so it's curling up this way, so you want to take it so you don't want to lay it this way where it curls up. You want to take where it's not, so it can't curl up. You want to place that down. You want to come here on the edge where we cut, and you're gonna just ruffle it up from the middle. You're gonna go from the middle, and then you're gonna go all the way to the other side. So you should have some kind of little bow tie type looking thing. And then what I like to do is I like to take some clips. You can get clips all over. These little pink clips actually came from the Dollar Tree. You get like 5 in a pack, so they're kind of a good deal. And then you're gonna take a green, ruffle it up, clip it in the middle, so it kind of just like acts as a hand. It's not perfect, it doesn't need to be perfect. We got one more of each color over here to do. So I like to do this in steps, so I like to ruffle it all up and clip them, and then add it all in, but I already added the rest of them in. I just left these 4 to do, that way I can show you, that way we can get going on our ribbons right when we're done. I forgot to cut my ribbons, so I'll come off and I'll go back on, but I'll let you guys know the dimensions before I go back. So, now that I got them all ruffled up, I kind of just like to mess with them a little bit. You can also mess with them more when they're in their thing. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your wreath. Now, like I said, I already kind of added the other ones in there. We left 2 more on the outside. So you're going to add this into every tie. So what I do is I use this one. So I used the burlap first, and then you set the green next to it. So now you got both of them in your hand. And then I'm going to add them in. So I've been doing burlap green, so then we'll go again like that, where we do the burlap and then the green. Put them in. I pull them nice and tight and twist. I only twist once because we're going to add ribbon in there again. And then I kind of just move it around so it's all showing and not hiding behind the stuff. So just like that. And then we got one more ruffly thing. And I'm kind of doing this from a weird angle, that way you guys can see. But normally I just have this wreath flat down on the desk, and I just keep on moving it around in the circle as I go. And then I kind of turn it, fluff it out, kind of like what we had it. So it's covering up all the different angles, kind of like that. And then we got a nice and full wreath. Like, look at these colors, friends. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is cut our ribbons. So I think I'll add these 2 ribbons, and then I think I might add that ribbon, which I'm not really 100% sure if we're gonna use the red ribbon yet. We're gonna kind of wait for that, but I know I want to use these 2 ribbons for sure. And so what I want to do is I want to cut tails. So for the tails, I cut them at 13 inches, and I put a tail in every other one. So if there's 18 ties, you're gonna need to put a tail in 9 of them. So I just take my 13-inch tail, like it's like a perfect tail, but it's not. Like, it's made by the 315 store on Etsy. That's where I got them for, and mine are custom engraved. So you're gonna need 9 of these. So I have 5, 6. I'm very bad at talking and counting at the same time. Okay, I think I have 9. 5, yes, I think I have 9. If not, we can always cut another one. So I just do this. This is a lot easier. If you don't have one of these fancy things, a piece of cardboard works like absolutely perfectly. Cut your cardboard, and then you just can't be as strong, like you can't pull on it as much, just because otherwise your cardboard will probably bend. But you can either take a thin piece of wood and make them yourself. These got sent to me as a gift. But yeah, otherwise you can find them all over. People make them all over. I'm getting I got a cricket for Christmas, so eventually I think I might try making some, and then I can maybe sell them on the Etsy shop or something. I just need to get better at my cricket first. So I can cut the vinyl out and put like the number and then put stuff on the ribbon tail. This ones are engraved. A cricket doesn't engrave or like laser print anything. But I can cut the vinyl out and we can put the vinyl on. And I can get stuff to cut the wood. My dad can help me cut wood if we decide to do that, but I might be just getting a little too ahead of myself. Okay, so that means we're gonna need 9 of these as well, because this is gonna get layered on top of that green. And this is beautiful. It's a very nice canvas ribbon. So we're gonna need 9 of these, and I love the feeling of canvas. hate it when my ribbon does that, when it gets all curled up like that. Usually I'll just take it and put it on my pedestal, or my little easy bow peg, but it kind of fell off, so I have to hot glue it back in. So we can't really use that right now. So these two are gonna go together, but what I'm gonna do before I let go of this, I'm gonna actually dovetail this one, or these dovetail these quick, and then I don't have to take them off and line them all back up again since they're basically lined up. So when you dovetail from the folded area out to the wire, and it creates a V. If you do it the other way, you're gonna get a hill. You want the valley, not the hill. Or not the mountain, I guess I used to always say. So if you are new to it, I recommend just trying it with one ribbon and not doing all 9 of them. That way if you mess them up, you only mess up 1 and not all 9. Trust me, I've done it before, and it's not fun because then you have to either have shorter ribbon tails or you have to cut all new ribbon, and then that's a new waste of ribbon. So always cut from where you folded it out to the wire. So folded edge to the wired edge. And you should be able to easily tell where your wired edge is. It usually is a different color, or it's more like a twiny looking, or you can kind of always like tape it and shake it and bend it. Bend it, shake it. You're not gonna, no shaking. So these are gonna go together, and that's gonna be amazing. And then I wanna see, I'm only gonna cut one quick, and I just wanna see, I don't know how, like in my head, friends, I think the red ribbon for the mini loop tail, the one loop tail, is gonna look good, but sometimes things that look good in my head, once I get them actually on the wreath, I'm like, what was I thinking? So I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna like the red, so that's why I want to kind of check it out. So I cut these at 24 inches, and I'll dovetail this one too, just so we can get the full experience. And so and before I cut all of them, I just want to see if it's gonna be too much red or if it's not gonna be enough. So I fold it in half, and then I measure at 5.5, and I pinch it together. So I measured from the little thing to 5.5, and I pinched it, so now it looks like that. And then we're gonna just gonna place it in my wreath, and I want to see how this looks. I want to see if it's too much red or if it will be fine. Because if not, I'm gonna have to find another ribbon, which I don't think it's gonna be bad. So I'm gonna try that, and then I'm also gonna put a ribbon tail in there. So I go every other with this. I'm gonna put a ribbon tail in there, and then we're gonna see how well we like this. My hair is getting in my face, and it's driving me nuts. Okay, so let's just see what this is gonna look like. Okay. And then let's just see what our sign would look like in the middle. I honestly think, friends, that this will look pretty good with the red ribbon. I don't think it looks too bad, because we're gonna add our little red things in, so I feel like it might just bring a touch of color to it. But at the same time, I do have like a brown. And now this is like the point when I wish I was live on my Facebook. That way I can have you guys' honest opinion. But I honestly think that I might like the brown. Let me just look, guys, friends. Because I feel like now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that I thought that maybe I needed the red ribbon to help make the red, what am I thinking? What is the color? The red bobbers to pop, but I don't know. I think it might be too red, and I think this brown might also help bring that brown out that's in there. So let's just see. You know, sometimes we have to test it, you guys, and sometimes you gotta test a couple ribbons, and it's fine. That's why we didn't cut all the red, because if we decide not to like it, I'm gonna actually just go like this, and I'm gonna put it in here, and then we can see what we think. Okay, actually, I think I might like the brown better. Oh, I'm not sure if that froze or not, but I think I like the brown better. I just think the red is just too much. So I think we're gonna go with the brown. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut, you're gonna need 9 of the browns. I already have 1 cut, so I'm gonna cut 8 of them. And I'll cut them at 24 inches and I'll dovetail the ends like I just did. And we're gonna add those into every other. So you'll do tail, mini loop, tail, mini loop, and then you'll go all the way around, and then you go all the way down on the other end too. And I'll come back to you when I got that. But what I wanna do is I wanna quick do our sign. So what we're gonna do is, since this is a metal sign, you could easily, and what I normally like to do, and I'm kind of starting to switch over, because I haven't had very good luck with these little things. They're called cable tie mounts, and what you use them for is you stick the, they're supposed to be just like sticky, which I never use the sticky anyways. I always hot glue and use E6000 on each end. But if you do that, you need to make sure you last with between 24 hours of these staying like that. But I don't really like them because they seem to fall off for me even if I let them sit. So what I like to do is you can either take a hole punch. This hole punch is just a normal hole punch, and it's thick enough. But if it's not thick enough, you can take one of those like really small jewelry punches that you can find at the jewelry section at any store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, all those stores. I'm sure you can find them at Walmart or any jewelry store. And I like to take them and put them in, right in that corner. And I like to take pipe cleaners or wire. I'll probably use wire for this one just because, unless I can find the color. But I think this, this floral wire that I have here, it's green, so it's gonna like blend in. And I'm just gonna take them and I'm just gonna fold them in half and use this to attach to our wreath. So it's gonna be a little bit harder to see when you're going through, but trust me, it'll help. And this way you won't have to worry about the hot glue melting on the back of your sign if you live in Florida or wherever you live that it might be hot, because the hot glue will melt. That, and sometimes even the E6000 doesn't like to stick, and I just don't want to ever get a call from my customer saying that their sign fell off their wreath, because that would just be tragic and I would feel terrible. So this way I know that the metal's not going to melt unless someone cuts it, which if they do that, if that happens, then it's really not my fault. But all I would do is I take this wire and I will string it through the little hole, and you don't need a big hole, y'all. You just need it, even if you want to use a pipe cleaner, you can still use that size hole. I don't even know what size it is, but it's less than 1/4 of an inch. An eighth, not even an eighth. I don't actually, it's probably like an 8, 4, not even, I don't even know what the size this is, y'all. I wish I could tell you. It's really tiny, that's all I'm gonna say. But I'm gonna I just take it and bend it around there, and I will show you guys how I attach this to the wreath once we got all our ribbons on. So I will be back once I have the ribbons cut and all placed on our wreath. Okay, friends, so we have all of our ribbons on, and what I want to do now is add our sign, and then I got these amazing little, whatchamacallits, bobbers, and I want to add them down all around into the wreath. Oh, this one fell out again. This one had like a little weird top on it, and I didn't like the color of the top, so I pulled the top off, and then the one part that I wanted to stay on fell off, so I had to hot glue it, and it still hasn't dried yet, so we're going to let that dry. But I really like the look more with the brown. I just think the red would just been too much, and it wouldn't have very looked natural anymore. It wouldn't look like a hunting, not like a up northy type wreath, I don't think, if I would have done that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 little metal pieces. We already did one of them before, but I'm going to just take them and put them in half, fold them in half, again like that, and going to I'm going to put them right through those holes that we punched before with that little punch. And like I said, you can use a jewelry punch, you can use any small punch. I wouldn't use a big hole, though. You want to keep it as small as you possibly can. That is your goal when you're working with this, because you don't want it to be humongous. And so, I'm just putting them through. Again, I'm using small little wire, that way it's not very noticeable. And try to keep it as close as you can to the corner, but don't do it too close that it might crack off and be visible again. So I like to move my thing around. I kind of like to pick where I'm going to have this, so I'm going to have it like right here. So I'm gonna put one down just to secure it in, and then we'll go back and we'll put the rest of them in, and we can always adjust it and move the wires around. I like to just get a nice, like, starting point, I guess you could probably say. That way I know where to add the rest of them. So that one's gonna go there, and I don't want it to be too, and like, I don't like my wires or my sign to bend. So if it starts to bend, that way I know it pulled it too hard. But what I like to do is I like my signs to sink into my wreath more. Kind of just something that I've always liked to do to my wreaths. I think it looks cool and looks good. But I just wanted to see where the other sign went. Okay, and then I want this one to go over here. If I can find it. Where's that crossbar? So I'm going to the crossbars because then I know it's even. It's kind of something that I do, and I cut these wires. That's one thing that I don't like about using the wire. I probably would have rather used a pipe cleaner, is with these wires, it's so skinny, and it's so short that it kind of, and I don't want my sign to bend that all that much, and I want to be careful that I don't let it slip. So right now my sign is bending, but that's fine because we will fix it here in 1 second. Just want to get a starting point down, and as you can see, I'm gonna move all our mesh around, and then I like it to sink down into our wreath. Now again, this is your wreath. When you're making yours, or if you make wreaths, you can do your wreath any way you like it. Every designer is different. That's what's really cool about wreath making, is there's really no set, I guess there's no set like rule or standard. Basically whatever you like, you do, which I think is kind of the coolest thing about wreath making, is you do what you like. You don't like the look of right now I'm squishing all my ribbons, and it's totally fine because before I even take pictures or before I finish anything, I fluff it either way, even if I'm squishing it or not. Because before you take pictures, friends, make sure you fluff it, because when you take your pictures, you want your wreath to be as beautiful as, basically because when I do my wreaths, I sell mine online. Majority of my wreaths sell online. Now, some wreaths do sell in person, but I'm going to tell you, like, probably around 3/4 of my wreaths sell online. And really, the people aren't there in person like you are. Like, you know how beautiful your wreaths are. You don't have to worry about, but the people online, the only way they get to decide if they like it is from the pictures. So if your pictures are not clear, trust me, they're not going to want to buy it. Because they're like, I don't really know what it looks like or whatever. So I need to move this over a little bit because I'm just not liking the way it is fitting. So I'm going to put this one in, and then we're going to put the other two in. So we'll see how this works, friends. Guys, honestly, for me, I say this all the time, I think that putting the sign on is like the hardest part of the whole entire wreath. Because it's just like, it has to be perfect. I don't like it to be uneven. If it's not centered, if it's not touching right, it just drives me nuts. See, so now finally my wreath got in and down there where I like it. So now I can just kind of put our wreath in. Put our wires down. Sometimes you just need to work with it a little bit. And like I said, I like my sign like that. I like my sign nice and tucked down into the wreath. I just think it brings a cool look into our wreath. I don't really know why I like that. I just don't like it sitting up on top. Then it just like looks placed and doesn't look like it's designed there. It just looks like it was kind of a last minute thought and it was just like plopped there. But you know, everyone's different, and you may like your sign right on top. Now, I obviously will move the stuff around. I don't like it when I don't want all my mesh covering the sign. So when I do this now, I'll go through and I'll tuck anything that needs to get tucked and move anything that needs to get moved. But pretty much everything looks fine that way. So what I want to do now is I want to go in with those little whatchamacallits. I keep calling them whatchamacallits because I keep forgetting what they're called. Bobbers. I should know. I go fishing sometimes, but I'm one that I don't like fishing if I don't catch anything because I do not have the like the patience. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick these in my hot glue skillet, and I'm kind of gonna place these in these things. They're kind of like working as ornaments for me, I guess, is what you can pretty much say. This is what I do when I make a design with an ornament as well, is I place my stuff in like so. Don't use too much hot glue that it starts to seep over. You can use just amount. And some of these bobbers are a little dirty because, trust me, y'all, these came out of my tackle box. Like, I didn't go to the store and buy these because I went and got some of my tackle. Now, obviously, I probably didn't really use these. Some of them are really dirty because I got them from someone, but I didn't go to the store and just buy bobbers. These came from the tackle box, so they're real fishing bobbers. I know they do sell them at craft stores and stuff as like project stuff, but y'all, you're gonna pay $1 million for those, and they're the same exact thing. It's just because if it's in a craft store, it's got to be more expensive. So if you're gonna make something like this, now what I really think would look super cool is like some sort of, I really wish I had some sort of I don't really know what, like wish I had some sort of little mini fishing pole or something. I think would just look so fun on this. But, you know, didn't have that, so we're just gonna make do with what we got. So we got I think it also looks really cool because I'm not using all the same size bobbers. These are all different sizes. So I got a big guy and I got a little tiny guy. And I think this just brings so much funness to our wreath. And I'm not gonna add anything to our bottom of our wreath because, and if I do, I could maybe add some more bobbers. I don't know if I'm gonna want to add more bobbers down here, just because I feel like they're kind of small, and I feel like they just get lost. So basically, y'all, that's our finished wreath. So I'm gonna pull you guys up. My camera kind of broke before, so I don't know. There's our finished wreath. So we got the little bobbers, and we got the little stuff, and you can always move this around, friends, and kind of make it so you can see our little sign better. But I think those bobbers they really bring this wreath to life. So that's our finished wreath. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Give this video a big thumbs up. Any comments or questions you have below, make sure you do that. Make sure you go over and follow my TikTok, which is MB Crafts by Max. And make sure you guys go over to my Facebook, MB Crafts, and follow over there. And you can watch me live and do all different things over there. I'm on Facebook the most. I do a lot of lives on there. I do a lot of posting on there. If you want to keep up to date with me, I suggest you go over there. But remember, 2021, I want to get real big into here on Facebook because I want to get more people on here. So just because I've been talking and there's been things going on Facebook that people have been getting hacked, and if I get hacked or something goes down on Facebook, I want to have a second platform that I can keep you guys up to date, and I would like it to be YouTube. Just because TikTok is just blah blah blah. You only have 60 seconds to get your message off, and there ain't much you can do in 60 seconds, right? So make sure you guys follow over on Facebook to keep up to date, but I also want to get this page bigger as well. You guys have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time you're watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.